Today, it's time to get schooled. And speaking of today, did you know that on this day, August 21st, 1831, Nat Turner began an unsuccessful slave rebellion in Virginia? Turner had learned to read and became almost fanatical in his pursuit of biblical wisdom. He felt that God had called him to become a new Moses. He was to lead his people out of bondage. An eclipse of the sun in 1831 was the final sign he needed to enact his plan. On the fateful night of August 21st, 1831, Turner, along with 7 fellow slaves, began to act. Masters and their families were slain. In all, 60 were killed over a 48-hour period. The insurrection was ill-fated as only a small number of the local slaves joined them. 3,000 local whites were organized to crush the assault. Turner went into hiding but was eventually found 6 weeks later. He was executed along with 18 others. Just prior to his hanging, Turner was asked if he had any regrets. His response was simple. Was Christ not crucified? Arguably, these events were a turning point in American history. What seems to be the powerful lesson of this little tale is that we need to be honest. Slavery is our original sin as a nation. Without question, the European Americans created a form of chattel slavery for blacks harsher than any known precedent. Ironically, colonial rebels used the metaphor of slavery to inspire their neighbors to break away from the mother country. So how then did they reconcile their enslaving of others? The answer? Racism. This point was made by Edmund Morgan in his book, American Slavery, American Freedom. To separate dangerous free whites from dangerous slave blacks by screen of racial contempt, Morgan wrote. Enactment of racist slave codes and legal limits on all blacks successfully dissociated them from whites, he argued, and consolidated blacks in a single pariah group. In short, Morgan wrote, the Virginia Assembly deliberately did what it could to foster the contempt of whites for blacks. From the beginning, time discovers truth, Seneca wrote. Time to face up to it. Psst, it's PROLOG. It's MR.REVIEW. It's a podcast that is actively digging tons of earth to find an ounce of gold, striving for a more perfect union.